Vanderpump Rules, I want to remind everyone, like what Ronnie said, that it was on its last leg. Not only was it on its last leg, but I deeply buy the hypothesis that this Scandival was a planned concoction, allegedly, by Lisa Vanderpump. Um, Not that the cheating is fake, because I think it's very real, but
But before we do that, can I get your opinions on another reality show that sort of had a big dramatic shock water cooler shocking moment as well, being Vanderpump Rules? Tell me what you thought about last season and the new season, which is about to hit. What do you think is in store for this cast? And I guess it's a good question as it relates to Salt Lake City as well, because when you have this, really interesting drama, everything's different, yet it's all dramatic. How do you come back? Like, what's in store for, future seasons of these shows?
well, I was not a Vanderpump Rules watcher before last season, so I feel that it speaks to how many new viewers Vanderpump Rules got because of the Tom Sandoval, Ariana, Raquel Leviss, just fireworks that happened. Um, I feel like it's interesting when we're talking about Vanderpump Rules because Ariana, right, was on Dancing with the Stars recently. She's about to be Roxy in Chicago. I was saying to my friend Mary DePippi, who does the True Crime and Academia show on my podcast, that we should go see her. We saw Pamela Anderson in Chicago, so we were like, oh, maybe we should just see Ariana too. But I'm always curious, like, when is the point when people on the cast forgive the grievance or the drama? So, like, obviously they've forgiven Tom Sandoval because they want to get paid and they want to come back in the public eye on the show. So, like, it's okay to forgive him. I haven't listened to Raquel's podcast episode yet. Um, but I would be curious. I probably should listen just to hear what her side is. I did listen to her interview with Bethany. Um, and I feel for Raquel because I feel like she is trying to take care of her mental health. And it's upsetting that people are attacking her because she's not coming back on the show. But weren't they upset when she was on the show? Because they said she should take care of her boundaries. So I feel like it's a double-edged sword. Like,
Yeah.
we're there for the drama, so it gets
Mhm.
messy, but, like, as a human, she probably should take time for herself.
Well, I think that's a little bit about what today's conversation in this entire episode. Obviously, right now, before we start, or focusing on Vanderpump, it's like, at what point is it too much? You know what I mean? Like, I do miss the old days, and I'll talk about this more, where reality TV was fun. I think on a recent episode, Giselle Bryant said, "What happened to Light Shade?" Like, let's make it fun and let's make it. You gotta banter with your castmates or whatever and create a show. It's very theatrical in ways, but it's going to a place, and this has been over some time now, where you have Teresa and her situation, Erica Jane's ex-husband and that situation, and Raquel and this, sort of a three-person affair, so to speak, or whatnot, and all, obviously, the thing that went on with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with Monica. It's like, at what point is that all that's needed for reality TV to be compelling? I've always said compelling is compelling is compelling. Like, you just got to have really good cast members, but if you have to resort to other things, okay, maybe that's the way to go. But at the same time, how do you keep the show going? Is it sustainable? These are all different situations, though. Go. Did you have a comment?
Well, I feel like it's a psychological, like, do you know that psychological test when, there was forget they were college students, but, like, they sat in another room and they thought they were shocking a person and, like, they were seeing how far someone would go and, like, electrocute a person, as a group psychology
Mm,
project. It kind of reminds me of, is it just that we've run out on the threshold of what's shocking to us as a viewer? And now when you're adding in how much social media, TikTok, and like the saturation level,
right.
they think that they have to up the ante. So, right, we have Tom Girardi and Erica Jane's legal issues. We've had Lisa Rinna causing the drama, but then people said she was too cruel. So it's like, okay, that
Yeah.
it's not acceptable when she went too far. But then now they're like, we're bored on Beverly Hills. Okay, well,
Mm,
you need someone who does stir the pot, and Lisa Rinna stirred the pot. So who
yeah.
now is going to take that role on Beverly Hills?
I
You
also
know?
feel like it's interesting for cast members, like let's say Vanderpump Rules, who started a show in a completely different era. So like in theory, it would always be back in the day, it'd be like, well, you know what you signed up for. But at the same time, what you signed up for is not what the show is now. You used to have to, you would hear this years ago with like the original real world cast members, the experience of filming and then the experience of um seeing it being played back and the audience's overall reaction. Now you're getting another element, which is then social media has to break it down or whatever. That's why I said, for me, I want to enjoy these shows, and I almost didn't cover this topic because I was like, I don't need, like I don't know. But then I was like, okay, me and Andrew, Dr. Andrew, have done an episode together, and we'll do many more. We had good conversations, so I was like, okay, you'll be the perfect person to be just banter back and forth about these hot topics.
Well,
My
and
Go
I
ahead.
also have a hot take for you, which is I used to be really addicted to like listening to um Real Housewives podcast, but I've kind of taken a back seat from it because I feel like you can only listen to so many conversations
Hmm.
before you just feel like they're even trying to attack each other. It's like the podcasters have become Real Housewives.
Mm,
Like who can drag who? Who can try to get more clout? Who can like say the most sensational one-liner as a podcaster?
yeah,
That in my opinion, yes, you might really hit a stride in viewership, but how are you going to sustain that? Like you can only
yeah,
drag people for so long before you burn bridges in the entertainment business, which is easy to do.
yeah. And then there's the other side of it all, Andrew, where it's like, what is it? The bottom line is, I guess the Emmy, not the Emmy, the Golden Globe didn't necessarily go to Vanderpump, but all the attention was given to this show that was on its last leg, so to speak. So, I struggle with this because I've worked in the broadcast media space for about 20 years now. And
Yeah.
it's always like that thing where I'm always like, okay, let's just let the best piece of work win. But these days, you almost can't win unless, I mean, it's all relative to what winning is for you and your moral compass and all
Mhm.
these things, but like it's a big thing to think about. You can't judge. That's what reality TV to me is getting almost impossible to watch. And I don't mean that fully, but it really feels almost impossible to watch because I don't know, because of a variety of things. Who cares what I think? I'm just saying it's different now. It used to be really, really fun. And again, when you got the bottom line and awards are being nominated, people are being nominated for awards based on these types of actions, it's hard to enjoy it the way you used to enjoy reality TV is all I'm saying. So I've seen you see the whole business of it all. Anyways, my last thoughts in terms of Vanderpump Rules, which
Yeah.
again came from a scandal, an actual scandal,
Mhm.
into seeing what the seasons look like after. At first, I watched the trailer and I was like, it's just going to be too much. But as it's went on, I'm like, you know what? Good for them all. Obviously, I wish that Rachel or Raquel, I wish that she could have gotten whatever help she needed to be able to be on the show so she could tell her side of the story. But there's always another season, and I think at the end of the day, Sheena's the winner because Sheena started the whole darn show by being part of an extracurricular,
Oh yeah, with
situation.
Brandy Glanville at the restaurant. That's how it
Yeah,
all
so
began.
it's a fun show. We got to keep it fun. Any last
Well,
thoughts on reality TV before we move into our topic of the today, and
yeah,
all the
I
buzz?
would say Vanderpump Rules. I want to remind everyone, like what Ronnie said, that it was on its last leg. Not only was it on its last leg, but I deeply buy the hypothesis that this Scandival was a planned concoction, allegedly, by Lisa Vanderpump. Um, Not that the cheating is fake, because I think it's very real, but I think the timeline of when Ariana and Tom um, were breaking up and just their relationship was not working, or even if they had some type of arrangement with a third person, a lot of that I think is murky. So it was the right time to really ignite the fuel of Tom and Rachel/Raquel cheating on Ariana. Like, it was the perfect storm, but I will
Mm.
say it was a very produced perfect storm to save the show.
Um, oh yeah, I mean not scandal, but one thing we can't forget because we always got to give flowers to Lindsay of Summerhouse. Lindsay also had a big, scenario where she got broken up in terms of being engaged after the season and cameras had to get picked up. So it's just this thing, reality's changing so much. My only thing, and I guess the big question as we end this portion of the episode and get to the next, is reality TV the series that are more so like a docuseries, are they just becoming so unreal and almost unbearable to watch? And how do they fare next to game show reality? You know what I mean?
Mm.
You got your America's Got Talent. You got Peacock Streaming has Traders.
I love Traders.
A very good cast. Yeah, very good cast this second season. The first season, of course, there was a lot going on. I didn't watch all of it, but I'm familiar with it. Who doesn't love Alan Cummings as the host also?
Yes.
But yeah, that's the big question. Reality TV, at the rate that it's going, is the shenanigans going to be too much? Or is like game show reality going to be the way? Or could they both exist? That's one of the questions.
Mm.
Okay, Andrew, now we're going to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And we're just going to talk not necessarily about new information, reunion. We're just going to talk about the show in general, where it started, what actually happened, and I'll let you do the breakdown on that. And where do you think this show could go from this point?
Hey, Ronnie Jr.